Hi, it's your brain coach, Jim Kwik, and let me see if this is working here, if this is working on Facebook, and yeah, here we go. All right, it's good to see everybody here in our private Facebook group, also on Instagram, and I just wanted to riff. I got off the phone recently with somebody and talking about all the things they need to do, and I'm like, no, you have your to-do list, but you also need a not to-do list. And I'm going to list a few things that I feel like are getting in the way from us really winning in 2021. What are you doing maybe on a regular basis that could be affecting your peace of mind, your profitability, your productivity, your positivity, and your performance? It's good to see you all here. Again, I'm doing this also on Facebook also as well. So if we're new friends, my name is Jim Kwik. I have a company called Kwik Learning, and I help people to learn quickly. Kwik really is my last name. I want to help you win. So I want to show you how to upgrade your brain so you could really be able to get more done in less time in 2021. It's good to see you. It's a good thing I'm a speed reader. Okay, so let's go through some of the things, and you could share also. I talk about, we all have a to-do list. I think it's more important to have a not to-do list. That one of the best ways to advance is really to let go of the things that hold you back, the things that weigh you down, because I feel like you're meant to soar. And some of this weight is not meant for you to carry. We do certain things out of habit, out of just unconsciousness. Hi from Australia. Hi, where's everyone from, by the way? This is a very, I love this. We're physically distant, but we're not socially distant. We're not mentally distant. We're not emotionally distant. So here are a few things. Behaviorally, I'm just going to stream of consciousness, all right? Sitting all day. Let's start there. We're on screens all the time. They say sitting is the new smoking. You got to move around. I don't mean just exercising 3 times a week, but you got to move around throughout the day. Every 30 minutes, just get up and move. Go for a walk. Even if it's just a few minutes of jumping jacks, as your body moves, your brain grooves. Stop staring at a screen all day. And even as you're watching this, move around, right? Just move around, go for a walk. Atlanta is here, Iran is here, India is here, New Guinea is here. Also, stop, we're just talking about your not to-do list. Share this if you like. If there's a button, that arrow on the bottom, you can share this. Stop looking at all that blue light, all that screen light at nighttime. We talk about this, but you got to optimize your sleep to really win. And if you're looking at screens at nighttime, your mind looks at the blue light and thinks it's still daylight, and you don't secrete that melatonin that helps you to relax. It tells you it's time to wind down and kind of get into your parasympathetic mode. So make sure you do that. Another thing to stop doing, we're talking about your not to-do list. We talked about stop sitting all day. We talked about stop looking at that blue light at night. Stop looking at it the first thing in the morning. Don't look at your phone first half an hour a day. Just try it. For the first 30 minutes, we could all do this. Don't look at your phone for 30 minutes unless you have to, because you're rewiring your brain to be distracted. Every ring, ping, ding, like, share, comment, whatever. You're training your brain to be distracted. You wonder why you can't focus in the day. Also, it's training you to be reactive, where you're just fighting fires, you're on the defense, and you don't want to play defense first thing in the morning, right? And so don't let it hijack your mood, all right? Some actually internal things. These are some external things to stop doing, and I'm going to address Facebook here. Stop on your not-to-do list. We got to stop caring what other people think so much. Can we just have an honest conversation about that? If you fuel your life on the opinions of those around you, positive and negative, you're going to run out of gas. And no one has the right to define who you are. The only opinion about you or your dream that matters is yours. And we do ourselves a great disservice when we let the noise of other people's opinions distort our own reality. And so it subverts like our own thoughts, and it drowns out our true inner voice. And of course, learn from feedback and learn from mentors, but know that you alone are responsible for your life. So I would put that on my not to-do list, and just grab some notes, because I'm just going to just talk about some of this stuff. Let's talk about more internal stuff besides not checking your phone and not moving. I think it's important that understand this, that creating your life can be scary, but you know what's scarier? Regret. One day you will take your final breaths, and none of other people's opinions, your fears will matter. What will matter is how you loved, how you lived, how you laughed, and how you learned, right? It's one of those things where it's not a fun thought, but when somebody dies and they're in that casket, there's not a lot of room in there for possessions. Have your toys and everything else, that's your prerogative, but there's definitely not a lot of room in there for regret. And I could tell you, working with people of all ages and stages, the number one regret people have is they live their life based on other people's expectation of themselves. They went into a career because of that. They didn't pursue a relationship with someone they wanted to because of what other people would think. And so I think part of our being successful and happy in 2021 is really getting the curiosity to really know ourselves. But once you get to know yourself, you journal, you meditate, talk therapy, have the courage also to be yourself. Have the courage to be yourself also as well. And that's a different part. And so, and that takes you to be able to overcome. So at the end of our lives, that's really what matters. All right, so begin with the end in mind. The most important thing is to keep the most important thing the most important thing. The most important thing is to keep the most important thing the most important things. So everyone here, I appreciate all the comments here on Facebook, on Instagram also as well. So we talked about things to stop doing. Stop sitting all day, stop looking at your phone at night, stop looking at it first thing in the morning. Internal things like stop comparing yourself to caring what other people think. I would also say, can we not complain as much in 2021? You can make excuses or you can make progress, but you can't make both. Can we just agree? And complaining is useless. It's not even that it's not just, right? We could all make excuses for everything, and yet nothing changes. So nothing changes. And it uses up an immense amount of time, mental energy, bandwidth, and excuses are useless. Wishing excuses, it's kind of like you can't be upset by the results you didn't get from the work you didn't do, right? And what I would say is don't wish, work. Don't say, show. Don't promise, prove, right? Accept responsibility for your thoughts, your actions, be accountable to your commitments, learn from your mistakes, and I promise you results will follow. It always levels out, but it's that consistency. Because if you only do what's easy and you put things off and you procrastinate, life gets so hard. But if you do the hard work, right, the things you're supposed to do, then life gets a whole lot easier. And I think that's really the goal. And for those of you entrepreneurs here on Facebook and Instagram, you got to feed your business until it feeds you. Nobody wants to talk about this, but you got to feed your passions or feed your dreams before it feeds you back. And so it takes time, but in the beginning, you're going to be grossly underpaid. When I started doing this 28 years ago, everyone starts, that's the thing. Every professional was once an amateur, right? Every champion was once a beginner, right? Little by little, I promise you, little by little becomes a lot, right? Because consistency compounds. And so what I would say is, everybody here, that do the difficult things and life gets a whole lot easier. Intelligent, consistent action, it cures almost everything. It's a myth that knowledge by itself is power. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge at best is potential power. It only becomes power when we activate it. But all these lives, Facebook lives, Instagram lives, podcasts, books, coaching programs, none of it works unless we work. And so I feel like a lot of people buy books and it sits on your shelf and it becomes shelf help, not real self-help. But even if you read it and you don't apply it, then you're no better off than somebody who's illiterate, who couldn't read it to begin with, right? And I know there's not something maybe some people want to hear, but if you really want to make a shift, if you want things to change in 2021, then I feel like that we have to make changes also as well. And so don't talk, act, don't say, show. Don't promise, prove. Do the best you can with what you have on your own timeline, and your results will speak for itself, right? Because here's the other thing about complaining. So if you're just joining us, I'm talking about things that we should stop doing. You have your to-do list, have your not to-do list. We talked about blue light, we talked about sitting all day, we talked about grabbing your phone first thing in the morning, we talked about internal things like stop caring about what other people think. Because honestly, then you're never going to be happy because everyone's going to have expectations, opinions on you. What I would say is also, let's stop complaining en masse. Let's stop talking about our complaints. Let's start talking about our joys. How about that? Let's start talking about what we can be grateful for in life, right? And you do not have to wait for a greater life to be grateful. Be grateful. I promise you'll have a greater life Because what you appreciate appreciates. What you appreciate, what you value appreciates in your life. And plus, going back to complaining is draining, right? Both to the complainer and to those listening. And amazing things happen when we stop complaining about the troubles we have and offer thanks for all the troubles we don't have. How about that? How about if we're going to take time complaining about everything that's bothering us? How about we could take time to appreciate all the things that are not troubling us, right? The troubles that we don't have. And then I guarantee you that's going to be a much bigger list for you than the things that are actually troubling you. I think the 4Gs, if you listen to my podcast I did on 4Gs, just search Jim Kwik 4Gs, growth. And why do you grow? So you have more to give, right? And then you build your grit and your gratitude, right? And when you feel like there's enough, then you give. And then if you want to give more, you have to grow, right? And then when you're growing, you have to overcome obstacles, so you build grit, right? This all works together. And so I really feel like life is the lottery that we already won. I literally wake up like that. I feel like I woke up, I just won the lottery, because who didn't wake up, right? And what are the chances that you'd be here at this time, and no matter what's going on, remember, these difficult times, they could define you, they could diminish you, they could destroy you, or they could develop you. We always decide, and that's really the goal. Another thing you could stop, besides complaining and stop caring what other people think, let's stop overthinking. Let's stop overthinking, because I'm going to talk to you in Facebook a little bit. Overthinking and wanting everything to be perfect before you ever began is going to stop things before anything has a chance to develop. Just start. It's not about being perfect. It's about progress. It's about the consistent effort you bring every single day that leads to incremental improvements, right? Little by little, a little becomes a lot. And don't complicate this, right? We talk about it in the book, S3, small, simple steps. Right? And so ignore the noise, do you, work hard, keep learning, be kind, amazing things will happen, right? These are just natural processes, right? I would also say, besides stop complaining and stop caring what other people think, stop overthinking, I would also say maybe, how about this? How about we stop all the self-criticism? How about we stop all the self-judgment? Right? This would be a good time. We've had kind of a crazy, past 12 months, some people even longer. This is a time to maybe lighten up. It's not about being perfect. It's about personal progress. Release that self-judgment, but for those moments that you start criticizing yourself, you kind of go into that script, well, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, why me? You start comparing yourself and all this. Instead of criticizing yourself, take a pause and just observe yourself instead. Take a moment and just observe yourself. Right? Because the former leads to self-doubt and the latter leads to self-awareness. The latter leads to self-improvement, and so don't judge. Not touching your phone, stop sitting all the time, stop looking at those gatherings, stop eating all the sugar, the processed foods, and also internally, stop complaining, stop overthinking, stop self-criticism, stop caring about what other people think, and here's one thing, stop saying you're busy. This is like, people ask you, like, how's it going? Just like, oh, I'm so busy. Everybody could say that most people are busy, right? We all have a lot of things that we could do. But my problem with people saying it is it becomes your identity, right? You get this feeling that you're important, because really when somebody says they're busy, underlining that usually is, I'm busy because I have a lot of things to do because I'm important. Let's say we're all snowflakes. We're all important, right? Here's the thing. If you start reinforcing that you're busy all the time, then you're unconsciously going to look for ways to make your life busier, and you wonder why you're going out of your mind, and because you're going to start designing your life to be busy, and busy is not the goal, right? Because, goodness, I could just go deep into this. The goal is not to be busy, right? The goal is to reach your values, find out what's most important to you in life, right? What lights you up. It's not to be burnt out at the end of the day because you're doing too much. A lot of people are burnt out because they're doing too little of the things that make you come alive, that make you feel like the things that light you up inside. And that really, I feel like, would be more the goal. So let's kind of wrap up there. I should actually just save this and turn this into a podcast. If you're not listening to my podcast, my links are in my bio. We have links to my YouTube channel. We have over 500,000 of you that watch that, to our iTunes, to our Spotify, all of that. And, our show is no sponsors, no ads for underwear or whatever. I mean, it's all good, but I want to get this out to the world. So, and I would love to enlist your help to build better, brighter brains so you could have your best future. And that's my purpose in here. All right. So I want to remind you that make your determination more than your doubts, right? Your faith greater than your feelings. Make your actions, match, your great attitude. And we could do this. How do you become limitless in a limited world? We do this together. And it's a real honor to be on this journey. I feel like we're all on this adventure to be able to realize, to be able to reveal our fullest potential. And part of it is letting go of what you need to, because some of the stuff that you're carrying that's keeping you weighted down, it's not yours to hold, and release that. Another thing is, forgiveness, right? And forgiveness of self. Part of self-care is falling in love with the person in the mirror who's been through so much, but you're still standing. Because when you think about the time when you couldn't survive, do you remember that? The time you'd stay up and you just felt like you couldn't go any further and you couldn't survive, but you did, because you're watching this, and you do it again. And you inspire people with your grit, you inspire people with your grace. And if there's ever a time you don't know what to do, don't just ask, what do I need to do right now? Ask, who do I need to be, right? You have your to-do list. I'm suggesting have a not to-do list. Get rid of that weight, the energy and the focus you're putting in other things. And also, what's on your to-be list? What's on your to-feel list, right? And it's kind of cheesy, but it's true that we're not human doings, we're human beings. But if you're going to choose to be compassionate, the behavior is going to take care of itself, because you're going to do loving things, right? And I think that's important, to be kind to yourself and also kind to others, because you never know what the battle other people are facing right now. More than ever, somebody could be facing the battle of their lives. And that's why kindness is a superpower, because and kindness is free, guys, right? Sprinkle that stuff everywhere. So be too optimistic to scare, be too determined to doubt. And I wish you so much well in 2021. I wish you enough. That's what I wish you. We'll turn this into a podcast of just me riffing, kind of a little mini episode. Every episode is only 15 minutes long anyway, but I appreciate you. And sending you lots of love, okay? All right. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye now.